Yo, what's happening, people? And welcome back to the Tiki Taka podcast, where you're going to hear hot takes, unbiased opinions, and hopefully have a couple laughs along the way. And we had obviously some big fixtures this weekend, some controversy, rivals taking over their op stadium. And on that note, we'll go straight to what they're calling Mo Trafford now. They said they can't call it Old Trafford anymore. He's walking out there barefoot. That's his yard. He owns that. His goals.
Yeah.
Man United versus Liverpool. Ten Hag versus Arne Slot.
Mo Trafford is funny.
Battle of the bald Dutch managers.
We were looking forward to this.
We were. And before the fixture list even came out, you predicted that it would be the third game.
You know, the Premier League does this every year where they pretend as if they randomize
It's
fixtures.
not random.
They pretend as if it's we just put this for a system, an AI machine, an algorithm comes up with who plays who. I knew Man United were going to get, ever since in the summer when Slot and Ten Hag had these little words, Ten Hag was like, but I've won the Dutch League. You're talking about a manager who hasn't even won the Dutch League.
Yeah.
You know, ever since that, I knew the Premier League were going to put them together, put them in the ring.
Sky Sports were bringing up their Feyenoord and Alkmaar or Ajax and Alkmaar.
That's nasty.
Results. But look, obviously Liverpool went there 1-3-0. They embarrassed Man United with levels above them, men against boys on that pitch. And a lot of points to talk about, but arguably the biggest point was Casemiro and Casemiro's performance. And 100% Casemiro played badly. I'm not disagreeing that or disputing that. I personally don't think Casemiro is finished.
I was about to say this. I also don't think, as much as he is the biggest point, I don't think he's the biggest point. Ten Hag
for this game,
in terms of players out there on the pitch, yeah, 100%. But
overall, Ten Hag's a bigger.
He's got a hold.
But specifically on this game, I don't think Casemiro's finished. A lot of Man United fans, maybe that's the emotion of the game and whatever, saying Casemiro's finished and Casemiro. But when Casemiro turns over the ball, and it's a poor pass on the first one, and he gets robbed pretty easily on the second one. But so does Kobbie Mainoo on the third goal. But once he turns over the ball, it's Liverpool are 5v2.
I told you, Mazraoui. How does Bruno
Mazraoui and Dalot are on the halfway line?
How does Bruno?
And that has to be managerial instruction.
Yeah. But even that, that can happen. Obviously, if your DM loses it in phase one build up, you're in trouble.
But it doesn't. At Arsenal, they'll build up with Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, and two in front.
Yeah.
If one of them loses the ball, the way Liverpool were flooding De Ligt and Martinez,
I agree with that. And obviously, Arsenal are set up a bit better. But I'm just talking about Casemiro's lost it. Mazraoui's on the halfway line. Dalot's on the halfway line. Yeah. Mazraoui should see. I've got two men over here that are free. I should be busting a gut to get back. Bruno gets back before him. Maybe Mazraoui couldn't have done anything.
Maybe he's running full speed.
Maybe he couldn't have done anything in the end, but there has to be a level of we're in danger. I'm here to help my team. It's a derby. I need to show some effort, some passion, some running, some legs. That's what I wanted to necessarily kill. You can kill Casemiro because the quality on the ball is so poor. It's so sloppy. But the effort, and it wasn't even one of those games where United have shown us worse effort in more recent years versus Liverpool.
Yeah.
But in terms of it being a derby and there being a rivalry between these two teams, it's almost clear to see who has the mental advantage, even amongst the new boys. Yeah. Sometimes new boys, it's easy for them to show passion on the first, derby because they're feeling all the feels. They're hearing the crowd for the first time. OT singing, all this kind of stuff. Mazraoui, his hair should be on ends. But when he's kind of half.
But I think those Man United players are giving 100%.
I don't think they're not trying, but I also don't. I think 100% Mazraoui runs back 100%. Like he sprints back.
I don't know. Look, that could be Mazraoui's top speed.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It could be, right? And Mazraoui, of all the Man United players, I think is almost most likely to try and give 100%. Like you say, first derby and whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
He can rise to it. I think there are questions and players you can point at and say, mate, they're not giving 100%, namely Marcus Rashford.
I told you after half time.
Who a lot of but Marcus Rashford created two chances that Man United should have scored from, clear goal scoring opportunities.
I was also going to say on the Casemiro thing that as much as to your point, your initial point of is he done at this level? I don't agree that he's done at this level. The whole football's left him. He needs to retire. Saudi's the only option type of thing. I think if you ask Casemiro to do what he's been good at his whole career, you know, shield the defense, be a destroyer, play a 5-yard ball, read the game, step in. I think Casemiro can still do that.
Yeah,
and even the first 2 games, the Carabao Cup and the Fulham game, a lot of us were saying, "Oh, Casemiro is not as bad as last year," type of thing. But if you're asking Casemiro to be Frankie De Jong or to be Rodri or any of these guys that like has to take the ball off the centre back, turn, ping, control, dictate tempo, he's never been that.
Casemiro gets the ball and everyone runs away from it.
No one wants it.
Casemiro, Bruno's going, Mount's going, Rashford's going, Xerxes going. Nobody wants to come and get the ball from Casemiro. So if you actually watch that situation for the first goal, when Casemiro gets the ball, the only pass he can play is the one he attempted. And maybe he has to loft it. But it's not a necessarily easy ball to play. But that's the only option he has.
And not to say that all professionals have to deal with this, and that's why we give a lot of credit. I think we spoke about this another off-air conversation. The importance of like in Pep's world, in Pep's football, you know, we don't get as much flair, but you get 6s taking the ball off centre backs and half turns and all this kind of stuff. Yeah,
a number 6 goes for 100 million now.
Yeah, exactly.
Caicedo, Tchouameni.
In all of that, there must be a level of fear for Casemiro, who's not used to doing this. When he does take the ball off Maguire and turns, and he knows Jota's closing in on me, Salah's closing in on me, Diaz is closing in on me, and he can't see it. And there's no easy ball, as you say. There's no 5-yard pass to Bruno or Mount or, you know.
Because even Rodri, you mentioned Rodri, but when Rodri gets the ball, he has 3-4 options all the time.
Bro, obviously I'm not a professional, but I would panic, man. If I knew that there was 3 guys, I probably had 2 or 3 seconds on this ball. There's 3 guys closing me down, and they're coming for me, you know.
And none of my teammates are showing.
And there's no easy out.
Not trying
and
to
this isn't
me.
my game. This isn't like I panic in these situations. I'm known to panic in these situations. You know, like I feel like managerially you've got to see that, but then at the same time it's 50-50. He is probably the most experienced. He's won the most. You know, they don't have anybody who can do that job.
There's no excuse for that pass he plays for the first goal.
But I'm just saying, you know, in terms of why I don't think he's done at this level, they're asking him to do a job that's not his, and we're killing him for it.
Yeah,
and we were just saying that with Declan Rice. Like over the summer, we were saying Declan Rice has never been the El Jugador, control to me to you, split the balls. He goes to play for England, and they're killing him for all of a sudden not playing progressive passing, and that's just not been his game. It's the same thing with Casemiro. It's like, trust me, it's sweet to hear Man United fans cry over their 60-70 million signing a year after they've signed him, 2 years after they've signed him. But I'm not ready to go as far as to say that the game is completely done from him, just because I do think he can still churn out. Like I think he's on a David Luiz thing where it's like, you remember David Luiz at Arsenal? It's going to be a lot of terrible performances, but there's going to be a day, 2 days, three days where he's you know, top 3 performers.
It's not like Fabinho. There's still, but if guys are saying that Casemiro is finished under Ten Hag, I can agree with that. Because Ten Hag's, he's shown he's not going to change.
What do you think then about the whole Ugarte thing? Because I'm putting this into like maybe being biased into an Arsenal context, but Ugarte almost has to be what Saliba was for us. And bear in mind, before Saliba started, I was saying he's not going to be the saviour for us in defence.
Well, I think Euro needs to be that more.
But I'm just saying, in midfield, if Ugarte isn't this medial central possession, ball taken off the centre back, ball player,
all action
midfielder, like if he isn't levels, there is no saving that midfield.
And there's no one else that can come in. My only thing on Ugarte is that nearly everyone I've heard speak about Ugarte don't speak about him like very well. It's not glowingly, but the one kind of performance I've seen of Ugarte was when Arsenal played them, Sporting in the Europa League. And I was there and I thought, this guy is everywhere, crunching into tackles, getting around the pitch. He actually got sent off in that game towards in extra time, but he had a good performance in that game. And I think the one thing he will bring Man United is legs.
A bit more energy.
Which is what they need, right? But, and Jamie Carragher made this point, Erik Ten Hag, the first signing he wanted to make was Frankie de Jong. And in his first summer at Man United, they chased him all summer.
To the very end.
To the very end. Ten Hag was calling him,
Man United fans were saying they're never going to pay you the money.
Exactly. And to pivot from Frankie de Jong to then go and buy Casemiro is a completely different profile, a
But
completely different player.
I shoot him some bell because it was clear that Casemiro wasn't his signing, but he was on board with it. Like he, as you were saying, I don't think he kind of said it himself, and the club have kind of said.
Look, when Ten Hag got the job, we can't forget he told the board, "I want full control over transfers."
I think Ten Hag greenlit Casemiro, but I don't think he was Casemiro's first, second, or third choice. I think it was just there's a deal to be done. He's a really good player.
Which is my point. Like,
and he was done kind of last minute.
Don't make that deal.
Yeah, because they signed Embarassed in the same.
If it, and obviously guys will say it's hindsight and whatever, but if you are actually a manager like Erik Ten Hag and you've built your philosophy, you've played your football at Ajax, that is what Man United have brought you to come and do.
Yeah.
Back yourself, back your philosophy. You can't get Frankie de Jong. Obviously, maybe the recruitment team wasn't doing what they should be doing, but then you can't pivot to someone like Casemiro, who obviously is still a good player, but a completely different profile.
Yeah.
And then ask Casemiro to do what you were going to ask Frankie de Jong to do.
It doesn't make sense.
And look, after 3 years of Ten Hag being there, I still cannot see what he's trying to do.
No, anybody that can. Okay, the only credit I'll give Ten Hag is not even credit in terms of what he's trying to do. He has to lean into the counter-attacking transition team. He has to lean Man United into that direction because he hasn't signed control. I know all summer he's been talking about we need to control games better, we need to have more control, there needs to be less basketball matches, we need to, but you haven't signed any midfielders that offer you any control. Yeah. So he has to lean into the transition thing. And he's had moderate success, actually, I can say that, on the transition game. But that's it. In terms of any sort of league, any style of play that can get you any points in the league, he's not done that. I was saying, like, other clubs, there's not one way to gain points in this Premier League, but the top 4 clubs have a certain style in terms of like players and positions. Look at Liverpool centre backs, look at Arsenal centre backs, look at City centre backs. Yeah, all of them 6'2", 6'3" plus. Get about a bit. Cities are a little bit different, but they've still got Kanji, they've still got Ake, all these guys who, when they need them. Man United have the opposite type of centre backs.
Yeah,
they've got De Ligt, they've got
Lisandro.
They've got Maguire, they've got Lisandro. Yeah, as I was saying, everybody's got 6 foot something DMs with legs on them who can get up and down a pitch. Man United don't.
Yeah,
they've got a 30-something-year-old DM who's maybe just about 6 foot.
I'm seeing United fans talk about watch after seeing their game on Sunday, saying, "Oh, Nano was right there."
Yeah. So I can't, like, Ten Hag doesn't have a style of play because whatever he is drawing up in his mind, there is a disconnect between the transfers he makes and what they do on the pitch, man.
But I don't even know.
And it's his team now.
Like that is true, what you said, but it shouldn't be true.
Yeah.
Because he signed
those
7
players.
Ajax players. He has signed 7, and all of those guys have worked under Ten Hag before.
Yeah.
They've all played their Ten Hag system. So why can we not see anything of what Ten Hag's trying to do?
A couple seasons ago when he said that style of football I had at Ajax, I can't play that here. I don't have the players.
You'll never see that.
Yeah, that should change now, because when you do look at that 11, and I've seen United fans say this as well, that 11 who started versus Liverpool was his 11. Like, it's kind of like Arteta last season, where it's like, all right, man, I've looked at those guys on the pitch. You've signed 9 of them.
Yeah.
10 of them.
Yeah. 100%,
That's what it's come to for United. And I think one of the more interesting things is the amount of money he spent and just sort of where it's ended up. Like, you've still got Kobe in the team, you've still got Garnacho in the team, who are academy players, but you've spent 600.
Rashford. Yeah,
you spent 600 mil. Rashford, who was there from the beginning. So even in your 3-year cycle, you've churned through hundreds of millions, and have just said, I've bought this guy, I've brought him in. Oh, actually, he's not good enough. He doesn't work for my system. All of this, like, you in this short 3-year cycle have churned out sort of 200 mil minimum.
We said last year he's going to be joined at the hip with Anthony for that signing. But I think the last point on Man United and Ten Hag that I want to speak about is what Ten Hag is saying in his interviews, in his post-match, in his pressers. that in itself, I'm seeing some Man United fans say is annoying them more than the actual result.
Do you not think it's just a desperate man? Like, every manager will go through this in the Premier League, like in the extent of like the media.
Arteta didn't do this when he was desperate.
I think he did, but just in a different way. He wasn't as much of a. Do you remember when
if we played poorly and if we had a result,
he would come out and say we played poorly. This wasn't
categorically.
The levels. Yeah, these
we're not at the level.
Yeah. But Arteta's more media trained. He doesn't get like. But
is that less media trained? He's done telling the fans we're just not at the level.
He's done weird things where he's been like, "How many formations did you see?" I saw 72 formations.
Yeah.
He's done those things, but it's different from Ten Hag. Like Ten Hag is feeling the pressure, and he's just saying anything that puts him in a winning light. And I think,
but I think the Man United fans would respect it a lot more if he just came out and said we were nowhere near Liverpool today. What happened today is unacceptable. Forget about the XG. Forget about all these transitions. What we did today was not acceptable. We can't have a performance like that again.
I know. I think they would, but that's my point. Is he knows if he says that, the next question will kill him. They'll say, "So what did you do? What part did you play in this abysmal?
Yeah, why were you not prepared for this?
Yeah. You spent the money, and I think you'd rather get into a petty argument and then just leave than as
we said he's going to rinse the trophy thing as much as possible.
He will say that in every presser, every post-match, every interview. Anytime things go bad, he will say, "I've been successful. Two trophies in 2 years."
After Pep.
And it is such a Jose thing. It is such a and it will only, like, as we were talking about, if United lose to Wolves or any of these other teams and you still start talking about trophies and I won the Carabao Cup, but you've just lost to Wolves, or you just that's when. But it's desperation. Like, it must be tough. What do you say? I really, and I was thinking about this when United were like 2-0 down, and it was looking like it could have been 4 or 5. I was like, yo, Ten Hag, where do you hide? Like, in these situations, man, when every camera is panning to you, the questions on them. It's kind of like Gareth Southgate in the summer when I was saying, like, how do you even deal with this pressure before Jude Bellingham did that thing versus Slovenia, Slovakia, whichever one it was.
Yeah.
And like, you're just waiting for the final whistle and it's all over.
Mm.
You're just going to get killed. Like, I don't even know how you deal with that pressure as a manager. I think you just have to muster up something and just get out of there.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm not saying that I agree with it. It is very annoying.
I just feel like, and I've made this point before, but when you're winning, it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah.
Like, your manager will come out and say whatever he wants to say. The fans will listen to it, but they're happy that you're winning anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But when you're losing, those pressers, those interviews as a manager, I feel like are so vital.
That's why we got rid of Emery.
Because that's your chance to tell the fans and explain to the fans what is going on here, what you're doing to try and fix it, what you're telling the players, what information you're giving them. And the fans will listen to that and they'll cling on to that as like a word directly from their manager. This is how we are going
fans
to
listen
fix this.
To post matches more when the team loses than when they win.
100%. And that's why they're more important. Because we, like last year when we were winning so many games or whatever from January to March, like I was watching Arteta's interviews, but I don't even think I was really concentrating.
It's just the same old.
Yeah, it was just another 5-0 win, another 6-0 win.
Good team,
another clean
played
sheet.
well, exceptional.
Yeah. Defenders are good,
but you want to know what's going on when things are going bad.
Exactly. But when we were losing, still to this day on Twitter, clips of Arteta's interviews after we were losing come up. I just think that's your opportunity, and you have to take. You can't take that opportunity and annoy United fans even more.
But you know what? I think we're also what we're not accepting like the full context of the situation. There is elements of this defeat that I don't think Ten Hag can really accept, like getting bopped to by the Dutch manager who didn't win the Dutch league.
Yeah.
Like, and I think if he comes out and he says, they will just all end up better than us from top to bottom.
Why were they better than you?
From start
He's
to
been here three games. Yeah. The following question, but as if you're a proper manager, you just got to stand there and take that.
I think they're just as egotistical as we can tell. As all the players.
The Dutch guys we know. The Dutch guys.
You see what Koeman's been saying about Birdman.
At 26, he's got no football ambition. That's why he went to Saudi.
And he knew I'd say that.
He will not get picked for this squad again. But that's. But we talk about Dutch guys. On the other hand, Arne Slot's been here for 3 games. And I think the first place to go to with Arne Slot is his interview after the game.
Post-match, yeah.
And he was talking about what Man United did last year in terms of their pressing setup and what they did this year, how Liverpool were going to counter that. He spoke about how Jurgen Klopp had coached this team how to press and how he was using that and wanted to carry that on, which I think was smart. Don't completely rip up what a manager has been so successful. Klopp made Liverpool the best pressing team in Europe potentially. Don't rip that all up, and because the players already have that information, they already understand that.
That's true.
You just got to apply your tweaks and do whatever.
But he did say that he was still going to focus on a slower build up.
Yeah. There were a couple of times I think Trent tried to play a like low percentage ball or whatever, and Arne Slot lost it with him.
Yeah.
There were times where Liverpool were forcing it, but I think he also, because it was almost similar to a Klopp. A lot of people were saying they'll come with a lot more control, and obviously they won 3-0, so it looks like that. But last year when they played them, they should have battered them.
Yeah.
Right? We remember that game.
Yeah.
Bruno Fernandes, Kobe Mainoo, 2 moments of brilliance, but Liverpool had multiple chances. It looked like a very Klopp performance of like, we're just going to set the traps, wait for these guys to make mistakes and capitalize.
No, Slot, from his interview and just from the performances from the team, you can kind of tell that he's competent. You know, he understands what he's doing.
I said before the first week that he can coach a press.
Yeah, you did.
That was what I saw in pre-season. He can coach a press.
Don't get me wrong. He like Ten Hag will still go through tough periods and media pressure and everything on top of him. And why has this not worked? And, you know, X, Y, and Z. And I think in some ways, he's almost benefited from not signing a huge 60, 70 million pound player where he has to integrate them and get them working immediately. And there's all this pressure for this player to succeed.
Yeah, no pressure.
Like, you know, Liverpool fans wanted more from the team and the club and the transfer market. And now Slot has got the winning game, so he looks more competent. Oh, he can get the best out of the guys that he already has available to him. So he has a bit more sort of, push, like, win over with the fans. But I've been impressed with Liverpool. I mean, it's impossible not to be impressed. They've not conceded a goal. They've won every game by 2 goals or more. You know, I think even the stuff you mentioned that he's doing with Trent, taking Trent off at 75 minutes, 70 minutes, this job, your job's done.
Yeah.
Get Conor Bradley on, get his minutes up, get his confidence up. Tell Trent and the rest of the team that I call the shots here.
Exactly.
I'll take you off.
Trent threw his toys out the pram last week. I'll sub you again this week.
Yeah.
Same minute.
Yeah. You know, so I think I'm quietly impressed with Slot. This was a big test for him. We were saying we were looking forward to this game just because this is a game in which we would find out what Slot is on. And as we were saying, he's better.
And we both said that we don't think Liverpool would win.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be tough for a new manager to come and overdo the Old Trafford curse.
I don't think any. I think there was some stat. I don't think any Liverpool manager has won on their first trip to Old Trafford.
Slot has done well. He's improving, and he's got guys going like Diaz, man. Diaz was a good player under Jurgen Klopp. Don't get me wrong, and it's not like he's gone up to levels now, but he's just a tad more consistent. Yeah, I always used to think Diaz was a guy that would score 1 in 3 games.
Yeah,
1 in 4 games or something like that. Yeah. But he started the season, he probably has 3 goals in 3 games. You know, so Slot is getting something out of him. He's made a decision with Darwin Núñez after Gakpo, after Jota, after Salah. Yeah, there's you. He's
Fifth choice.
Yeah, he's put Gravenberch in the 6, and he's playing better football.
Out of all the ex-Ajax players on the pitch,
the best
he was the best.
I'm telling you, those are the things that I feel like it was tough for Ten Hag.
And one thing I will say about Gravenberch is that we said we're looking forward to seeing that because it'll be a test for him. That will be one of the easiest games Gravenberch plays all season. Yeah, because the amount of time and space he had on the ball, it wasn't what I thought it would be. But fair play to him, he had to step up and then put a performance in anyway.
Salah, innit? Yeah. Just giving Salah his credit, like
Old Trafford.
What else is there to say? It's been 5, 6, 7 years, however long it's been now. He's a really, really serious guy. Like,
the consistency is.
If we were podding 6 years ago, I would have been agenda to the gills, anti-Salah, terrible footballer. Can't believe you guys backed this.
Yeah. Not in conversations with Hazard.
Exactly.
Not in conversations with Mahrez.
Yeah, Sanchez was better. All of this, yeah. But 6 years later,
he's there. If not eclipsed them.
He's done it all, and he's gonna go for another monster year. Like he's already laid down the gauntlet to tell guys, I'm not leaving just yet. I've still got minimum 1 more year in me, and I'm gonna get serious numbers.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see what happens, man. I'm not gonna push the boat out yet and put Liverpool in title challenging conversations, but
Yeah, same.
I do think that they will probably be the third best team in the country.
Yeah. And I think quite comfortably.
Yeah.
They'll be the third best team, but I don't think they'll even get as close as they did last year in terms of the title.
Title challenging.
I think it's been a great start for Arne Slot, and fair play if they do. But I think the tough tests. I mean, Arne Slot said it himself with the double program. Yeah, playing twice a week and whatnot. I think that Liverpool that squad is quite thin.
Yeah. I was just thinking that.
It's in midfield, especially.
The injuries can kill any club.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about an injury to Salah or anything like that, but like if a McAllister goes down.
Yeah. Even if Gravenberch and the form he's in picks up, and then you have to put Endo in there, and then that changes.
It's a bit different.
Things, if Harvey Elliott has to come in or Curtis, whatever, Diaz we know Jota's injury history, any of that. I think, I'm not quite sure, especially with the fixtures as well, how that will work. But fair play to Arne Slot, definitely. Man. And Ten Hag, the writing's on the wall there. The writing is on the all roads lead to Southgate.
I agree. I agree. And I still think it's ridiculous of a notion that United could have kept Ten Hag to sack him 4 or 5 months into the season. But if he is in the middle of the pack, 8th, 9th, 6 points, 4 points off top 4 by December,
I don't think they'll have a choice.
Yeah, he will go.
They'll have to go. The fans won't allow that. But look, we'll move it on to a fixture that's been serving up goals, serving up great times. Newcastle versus Tottenham at St. James's Park. This is the 3rd year in a row that they've been bopped there. But it was very different this time.
Yeah.
Very different to the last 2 times. And it was a horrible performance from Newcastle. I was just watching that game and I was just thinking what I would give for Arsenal to go to St. James's and Newcastle to play like this. I think we would win 3 or 4-0 very comfortably.
Yeah.
It'd be light work, easy game. They were awful. They were lucky to get away with the 3 points. And on the Tottenham side, that tells you everything. They should be 4 or 5-1 up with 3 points in
Tottenham,
the bag.
unless Dominic Solanke gets what he got last year, they will struggle to show some serious improvement because the defensive frailties are still there. Have they conceded, apart from the Everton, conceded in 2 of the 3 games.
And look at what Everton are.
Yeah. And Everton are on exactly nothing. And the worst thing, I think, or the most damning thing about Tottenham in this Newcastle game is it's almost as if teams have figured that out of like, we don't even need to play well. There's a blueprint to beat this team. Wait for the high line. Wait till all the defenders in a row.
But I don't think it was an Eddie Howe masterclass.
It wasn't
like that. Of like, bro, they were getting cooked in that second.
No, I completely agree with you, but
I do think you're right. Other teams have clocked that, but I don't think that was really shown in this game.
I think that is the players know it. The players know that these, or maybe mid game, they realize it. They're looking at this game and they're like, yo, these guys are awfully high up.
Yeah.
Like that's why you bring on Jacob Murphy. That's why you bring on all these guys that are going to stretch the game. They're probably thinking to themselves, if we get this right once, we turn the tide.
Yeah. And I think after that 20-minute period of Spurs pressure in the second half, and once they haven't scored, I think the Newcastle players know, we'll win this game.
Yeah. And I look, on the game itself, I agree with you. I don't think Newcastle played that well. I've been really... I had Newcastle to have a good season before the start of the season, but I've been kind of like let down by their performances. But they've got 7 points on the board, so maybe there is some strength to take from that. And they don't have the 2 best centre-backs, you could say, Shara and Botman.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting. And I think the thing is with Tottenham, man, you can wait for that defense to make a mistake.
I mean, the second goal,
Romero. You can wait for that defense, but Romero has made how many mistakes already this season?
Joe Linton bypasses Maddison, and I don't know where Romero's going. Dragusin, Udogi, and even Porro, and if you're defensively worse than Porro,
Yeah.
There's a massive, massive problem because Porro shouldn't be in the right position if you're not.
Yeah.
Porro should. I look at that back four. And Porro should always be the guy leaving his man at the back post.
That lot,
Yeah, Mazraoui,
yeah.
any of them. Romero
Same
stepped
player.
up. It's a great ball from Joe Linton, but Romero's basically just said, "Here you go, take this,
have this." And but yeah, my point about Tottenham more is just they actually created chances in that second half, and as you say, they should have put the game to bed. But if Solanke isn't there, I don't know who takes them. Son will take the odd one or two because Son's a good player, no doubt. But Brennan Johnson, Kulusevski, Werner, Odegaard, like how many goals are really
Richarlison.
Yeah, how many goals are really between those 4 to 5 guys? Like really between those 4 to 5 guys, because their quality is like here 1 week and then not here for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, and my biggest thing with Ange, as I told you, is like I just don't know if Ange focuses on the details enough to break into the top 4, to go third, like guys were saying before the start of the season.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's into the details enough. Vicario still looks soft on set pieces.
Yep.
The Highline is obviously still letting goals in at the back. Obviously he's tinkering around with the front three, and I don't even know if the midfield three is nailed on. He's flipping around between Bentancur and Pape Sarr. He used Basumas on disciplinaries, and then he's back in the team. You know, so it's like there's a lot of chop and change.
Yeah, Maddison consistently gets subbed 20 minutes before the end now.
But the goal is case in point. And Tottenham fans were saying he has to ring the subs before because Maddison gets tired. And Maddison seems like he can only play 60 minutes. Decent quality. And then
they're putting him in Odegaard conversation.
Yeah, his legs are done.
And Kulu. I think we need conversations on Kulu. We can't keep saying Kulu's a 9.
Kulu's a 10. He's a 7.
Kulu's not good on the flanks. Kulu did all right. But we actually need to have a conversation on Kulusevski, because what is he? You're talking about goal contributions and stuff.
Yeah,
what is
he going to bring to the table?
Offering? He started as a false 9 in that game.
Yeah.
Don't think he played well. Dropped into a 10/8. Don't think he played well. And Kulusevski used to be a guy that we both used to rate highly.
Do you know what I think it is? I think Kulu in training kills it. I think in training, it looks so silky. It looks so sleek. And then
because he has to rip Porro.
And then real game scenario, it almost never works out. And this is like 2.5 seasons of asking Kulu to give us something. It's not even like, it was just last year. It's been like the rest of the season before.
Yeah, the season with Conte.
Yeah, all of last year. And now here we are. It's only 3 games. Maybe Kulu will go on a madness, but Tottenham fans got to be like battering down his door, asking for goals and assists and contributions. And like, you've been here for 3 years now. You know the league inside out.
Kulu's not that far away from Brennan Johnson.
Yeah.
Who's not that far away from Timo Werner. Who's not that far away from Wilson Odegaard. Like, and Tottenham's window, they've spent a lot of money.
They have.
But 18-year-old Archie Gray, 18-year-old Lucas Berger.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Like, they've probably only signed one player that actually comes into the starting 11.
Solanke, and he's injured.
Which is Dominic Solanke. Look, man, that's going to be... It's looking tough for Tottenham.
There's a lot that rides on Dominic Solanke's shoulder because, you can actually trust Brennan Johnson. I can't say rip his man, that's a bit... But you can trust him to burst.
Yeah, and put a ball
in. Yeah. So if Solanke...
That's his whole game.
Exactly. If Solanke isn't there to finish that, because there was at least like 3 to 4 times. Brennan Johnson.
I actually think Brennan Johnson did all right.
Flashes one across the post, begging for somebody to get there.
How the goal comes.
But he's too quick for Kulu.
Yeah,
he's too quick for Son. It's too quick. That is the donuts.
Can't keep up. Yeah.
So it's like if somebody is going to be there to put that home and make Tottenham's 1-goal lead, 2-goal lead, or make the game 2-2 instead of 2-1, then potentially. But unless that happens, if Solanke's going to be in and out of it with injury or whatever, I think Tottenham will always concede and more or less just stay in the same position. Beat majority of the teams in the bottom 10, but then not really do that well versus the teams in the top 10 and finish somewhere 5th or 6th.
Yeah. And obviously the aim for them this season was Champions League football.
We'll see.
Which, I'm not going to write that off yet. We'll do our predictions maybe next week, so tune in for that. But we'll move it on. another team in North London, Arsenal versus Brighton. I was there 1-1. Unfortunate to drop points, but only real thing to talk about the Rice
The red card.
And we would have won that game. 11
Yeah, I
11.
agree.
Not really any doubt in my mind. So then I kind of have to say that Rice cost us 2 points on that in that game on that day. And maybe that's harsh. Everyone's saying it shouldn't have been a red card, and I don't really think it should have been a red card. The ball's moving. Veltman can't even take the free kick.
Yeah.
All of that. But I said this to Michael off it. I just cannot have sympathy when a player's already on a yellow card.
I kind of agree with that. And that is like the football cliches. If you're on a yellow, you're working a tightrope, you've got to be on your best behavior. I do think that Rice probably got in more trouble for trying to get Veltman booked when Veltman kicked him.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I think the ref is like, because
I'm going to teach you a lesson or whatever
type of thing. Yeah. Because I don't really understand how a ref can be so eager, to send their player off for that. Not even violent conduct. Not even like
so eager to just make it about him.
Yeah. 5 minutes after the restart. Like and my thoughts on the game, I agree with you. I think we would have won the game if it was 11 of us. We would have just kicked on.
Yeah.
We would have put the pressure on them. Hinchwood would,
3 or 4.
Hinchwood would have cracked. Saka would have got another one, created another one.
Odegaard probably would have got his.
100%. It would have been one of those days. Maybe Martinelli comes off the bench, tied legs. It's just disappointing to concede, but I'm not where I was last year or even the season before, where it was like, not that last year and the season before, we've equally dropped points in the first couple of games. Yeah, and it was causing like mass hysteria. I remember the draw versus Fulham.
Yeah,
like
it's not like that.
It's not like that.
No.
I don't feel that. Is it over? Type of thing.
The Fulham one, they were actually down to 10 men, and they came back and scored and equalised.
So I think our performances have been good, and I think what I was saying to you is the Villa game has put not a lot of bank, but has put more, cash in the bank in terms of this team and my thoughts of this team. Because it's even funny you say this. The thing about the Rice situation is, today when I was coming home, I was speaking to my neighbours because they was outside and they're Tottenham fans, and they were saying, what are you feeling about the game? And they were saying that they still think they're gonna lose.
Yeah, they
say it doesn't matter if Rice plays or not, we're gonna lose. They have that sort of nerve about.
I think that's a common consensus.
And I was like, fans. I didn't want to be. I was like, I don't want to jump out the window and say it, but yeah, I think we're gonna beat you guys with or without Rice. And I just think that is the common consensus still, is that we're a top team.
Yeah,
we play at a high level. Even if one guy, 2 guys is out, we've got the pieces in place to put in a real performance and to put in a real shift. So I'm more annoyed that we're not going to see Rice in the game for some like petulance.
Yeah,
let it be an actual. Let you clatter a guy on
a straight
exactly, or like one of those ones where you needed to take the yellow, they were getting away from you. It was a tense game, whatever, you dragged them down. But to lose him on some petulance is very annoying. But I still think,
especially with Marino out as well.
Exactly. But I still think we should have enough to beat Tottenham. And I don't know. I'm not pushing the red button saying that we need to panic. I feel like we've had a good window. I feel like we put in a decent 45 minutes. We should have been 2 or 3 up. And I feel like that's going to be almost every game. The first 45 minutes, all the time, we're going to be saying we should be 2 or 3 up.
Yeah, because whether we'd won this game or drawn this game or whatever, or even lost this game, no matter what, I would have been going into the Tottenham game saying we need to win this game. And I would be going into the Man City game saying we need to win this game. I said at the start of the season, I want us to win 5 out of 5. So the fact that we've drawn this doesn't change what I want from the next 2. It doesn't make the Tottenham game a must-win now. That was always a must-win.
And but Arteta will use this as as like bait, or as like whatever it is, to push the guys on them. Like, we dropped points last week, now we need to win. We need to. And to be honest,
no more slip-ups till March.
To be honest, if we're gonna win the league, if everybody thinks City's gonna win the league, if we are gonna win the league, it's gonna take turning the potential like, oh yeah, I'll take a draw at Tottenham away, I'll take a draw at City away into wins
Exactly.
to change anybody's mind,
That was my
including
big thing about Villa as well.
including the players.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if we don't win at City away, if we don't win at Tottenham away, and it's even kind of crazy to say that as if it's like a given. You should just be winning at these places.
I told you two of Arsenal's probably 3 toughest away games. City, Tottenham, and Liverpool at Anfield are probably the 3 toughest away games. So that's 2 of them there.
But if we,
but that's the level.
Yeah, exactly. If we don't win at those games all season, I won't argue with anybody if they say City's going to win the league. You know, like 100%. But yeah, if we come out from 6 from 6, I'll be feeling a bit different. If you come away from Villa Park, Tottenham away, and Man City away with 9 points, that's a serious team. That's a real serious team.
That would be unbelievable.
Literally.
But quickly on obviously Brighton came away with a 1-1.
Yeah, they played well.
They got their goal. João Pedro.
Yeah, good player.
Could be the next one up.
9.5. I was saying this to you. He's the real 9.5
with goal scoring capability.
He's playing just behind Welbeck. You know,
gets in front of goal, and I think he's going to score.
That's a good finish from him, to be fair, on the rebound.
Yeah,
I know Jesus puts that over the bar.
I mean, a lot of clubs are going to. Let's not talk about where Jesus puts that on his left foot, but probably does a fake shot, cuts back, tries to hits a player, gets a corner, hands on the head.
Yeah.
But no, I think a lot of clubs are going to be looking at João Pedro next summer.
Yeah, Brighton are going to slap a good like 60 mil price tag on him. But if he gets,
be tempted to,
you know how you can see how last season. I'm going to say this quickly. Last season, Mateta got goals, Muniz got goals. They both ended up with like 14, whatever it was. That's going to be Duran and Pedro.
But with Muniz and Mateta, that's probably their best ever Premier League seasons.
Those don't get me wrong, Duran and Pedro could push on, but I just think in terms of and that's the Villa, not really mid-table, but in terms of the like non-top 6 strikers that are gonna get 14 all of a sudden that we don't really expect. I feel like it will be João Pedro, it will be John Duran. It could potentially be, Eddie Nketiah. We'll see what happens. But and they might replace them, especially for FPL managers. They might replace the Munizes and the Mateta forms.
Yeah, I agree.
Of last year,
I think Duran's probably got the hardest task because of obviously Ollie
Watkins is in front of him. But I still think he'll come on and do the business.
But yeah, look, we may as well go straight to Villa. Because obviously Duran scored the winner, scored an unbelievable
ridiculous goal,
athleticism
off the charts.
Yeah,
it's off the charts.
Nuts. Don't need any technique for that. Just up, bang, neck muscles.
And that's not to say that he doesn't have the technique.
It's not. But yeah, when you can bring on a guy like that, Watkins has done his 60 minutes. Now Duran comes on. He's two goals in 3, I think, off the bench.
Yeah, just that's the season. I think he has. I think he's like
he's already 50% of the way to Gabriel Jesus' tally for last season.
I think John Duran between the end of last season and now it could be like 7 and 10 or something. Like I think he's on like a real good goal scoring form. But he's got it all in the locker: the physicality, the technique, the ability to bully a defender, like a central defender,
the ball striking.
It's all there. But Villa have done well to get 2 wins.
An honor. He's a goal scorer.
He's a goal scorer. I told Emery the blueprint. He saw all these top teams have a 6-foot-something central defender that adds goal contributions to the team. I need to get mine. Yeah. And he's just gone and he slapped 50 million on Onana and put him straight into the team, and it's a seamless transition.
We've said this, man. This team that Emery's building is nasty.
It's so nasty work. I'm happy to be done with him away from home.
Yeah.
But you're going to find it tough. And we were saying, especially when Maatsen comes in and all of this kind of stuff comes into the fold. Yeah. When Dean comes back and,
And we've spoken about their depth before, but Bailey got injured, I think, first 20 minutes on the weekend. Jacob Ramsey came on, didn't just look the same.
We're here.
Yeah. No drop off, no real drop off. Obviously, maybe Bailey's a bit better, but there's a level there that they won't go below, kind of thing.
No, Villa are going to be a good team. It's literally just what's going to happen when they have that double program and they start playing Europe, as well as.
I think they've built their squad well for that.
Yeah,
and I think Unai Emery, maybe a bit different to Eddie Howe in that he's got that European experience. So it wouldn't surprise me if you see Maatsen play Champions League, Digne play Premier League.
And also, they don't have the Thursday, Sunday slog,
Yeah.
which is a little bit less of a challenge. You know, at least they're going to have the Wednesday, Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. And shout out Buonanotte.
Yeah.
He looks like he might be Leicester's best player.
Do you know what, man? Like, I talked a lot of crud about Leicester on the match they won, and I still think they'll go down. But they're scoring goals. Like, you know,
Vardy had one disallowed, didn't it?
Yeah. From the first 3 weeks, I think it's always worse when like you're really struggling to score goals. You know,
and we do have those
Everton.
teams. Look, we'll go to Everton. You mentioned them there. Everton struggled to score goals, but they're 2-0 up.
They're 2-0 up. 6 minutes to play.
On the
4 minutes to play.
Cool. Switch that off now. With Sean Dyche, we know what that is. That's 3 points wrapped up. But they absolutely capitulated. Threw it away. What was it? 3 goals in 9 minutes or something?
It's 100. Like the 3 goals in 9 minutes is condemning, but for a Sean Dyche team to concede 3 crosses, that's the capitulation. That's the indictment of the capitulation. A Sean Dyche team with 10 minutes to go
at home
are conceding from 3 crosses, and 2 of them was almost like a replica. It's just like the same back post.
That's how you're watching the same goal.
It's like the same ball to the back post that's not been defended well. Michael Keane's all over the place. Tarkowski 6s and 7s, and I mean, this is what we were killing Sheffield United for and stuff last year. Like, you have points in the bag here. Just see this out.
Yeah.
And you throw it all away and end up leaving with nothing. I mean,
and I'm still confident Everton will stay up.
Exactly. I'm the exact same. That's the worst thing. I think
because come March, that they'll win 3 on the bounce or they'll do something. And my dad was saying this: Everton, they just need 3 teams to be there. As long as there's
between them and 3 teams at the
and them,
they'll win out. They get the results.
Most likely, the 3 promoted teams, Everton can trust themselves to be better than them.
I was thinking like it's kind of a silver lining that DCL has scored this early in the season. Like, when does he ever get?
It was looking that way.
When does he ever get a goal assist? in this early into the season, normally it's like
he's never usually fit till December.
That's what I'm saying. But I agree with you fully. Like, it's super embarrassing from Everton's front end.
But if Everton are scoring 2 goals and not winning a game, that is bad.
That's bonkers.
Because Everton don't score goals.
But and that's why you'll give Brighton a ton of credit, man. Sorry, Brighton. Bournemouth a ton of credit.
Iraola unbeaten so far.
I said this about Iraola last season. I said this about him this season. He really gets like more than the sum of his parts.
Absolute maximum.
Like,
from his
maximizes his team.
Semenyo.
If you start Semenyo, you're the guy now. Solanke's gone.
Yeah.
Semenyo's crashing the back post. All of a sudden,
Evan Nilsson hooked on 60 minutes. Semenyo.
Also, Semenyo's got this like, I'll just strike this ball from 40 yards and it's going to crash the crossbar. It's going to crash the crossbar. Luis Sinistero. Who would have like I never thought, he wasn't putting up much trees at Leeds. He was all right.
He looked all right.
He was all right.
But that's it.
Yeah.
And I still think he's all right. But
he crashed it into the back post. He was there for it.
The winner, shout out Bournemouth, but absolutely shocking from Everton. We will go to West Ham, Man City, because Erling Haaland.
It's a problem. All of the stats are bonkers. Like, all of the stats.
It's difficult because Erling Haaland's probably had next to no airtime on this podcast.
Yeah.
Right? Because what do we read? But the rate at which he's scoring goals is insane.
I was saying,
it's ridiculous.
Whatever way you want to slice it up, man, having 100 Premier League goals in 3 seasons, 2.5 seasons, whatever it is ridiculous. Having 7 goals in the first 3 game weeks. I was just telling you off air, like, every Premier League club would pay 30 million for a striker to get them 10 Premier League goals.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. That is the set market price. If you're almost gonna get 10 Premier League goals, we'll pay 30 million.
I reckon they pay more than that.
Ten Hag. Haaland is there on match week 4. On match week 4, he'll have 10 Premier League goals. Like, the Golden Boot race is done. He's going to be pushing 40 goals a season. He's pushing his own records. And I was saying it's like when Man City attack, when Liverpool are playing Man United and Liverpool are on the attack, you think this is dangerous. Salah has the ball here. There's a man over on the far post. Like this is looking quite serious. City, it's like you could have the ball.
Yeah.
4 or 5 seconds later, the ball's in the back of your own net. There's not even been the build up to the attack. Paqueta, it's just like 2 or 3 meters too wide for him. And then Bernardo plays the right ball at the right time.
The perfect pass.
With the right weight on it. Haaland doesn't even need to take a touch. I'll go around the
kill.
yeah. I'll shuffle my body. Yeah. I'll put this on this corner. Yeah. It's over. You're already chasing it. They get back into it with a lucky deflected goal. Yeah. Haaland crashes it. The second goal is even more damning because like Rico Lewis gets an assist and he deserves it. And Rico Lewis has been playing very well. He's been playing very well for the last 3 weeks. But it's one of those ones where he's just played a 5-yard ball into Haaland. He's slapped it top bins.
Rico Lewis?
No, barely any build-up.
Rico Lewis should enjoy this time now to the absolute max.
To the fullest.
Right? Because I could not be more confident that Rico Lewis won't ever be spoken about like this after Pep leaves. I could not be more confident. So, fair play, you're doing well. I'm not hating on you. You're playing very well. But lap this up. Enjoy this. Get your England squads.
Pep is saying he's the best he's ever trained.
Get your England appearances. Get that all up there. Ball out. Do what you need to do.
I do think he's balling though.
But when Pep goes, we won't ever have this shine on Rico Lewis again.
Pep, man, he's just a real sick guy.
They're calling him Rico Lam.
It's
not Rico Lewis, Rico Lam.
Pep is a real sick guy. Pep coming out and saying, yeah, pre-season's over now. The season begins.
After international.
Season begins after. Everybody knows this.
They just took 9 points. Rodri hasn't played a minute. They got 3 wins.
I purposefully didn't captain Haaland because I thought Man City will win this, but West Ham will make it tough. West Ham away, they'll make it a bit tough. I know what Lopetegui is going to be on. Yeah. Alvarez, Guido Rodriguez, right in front of that back four.
Gilman, Mavropanos.
Yeah, everything's going to have every shot's going to have a body thrown in front of it. It's, and it's kind of tapped. But what I was going to say on West Ham's point, Fulkrug.
Yeah.
The lack of pace. And I knew he wasn't a pacey
Eddie's not
striker.
looking so bad now.
I knew he wasn't a pacey striker. It's not like I'm expecting him to be bursting through the lines and slotting them home, this kind of stuff. But like Antonio is just giving them so much more right now. Yeah. Like Antonio's ability to make a nothing ball, a clearance into maybe something.
Whenever West Ham sign a striker to replace Antonio, and I respect Antonio massively for this, he comes and he says, no, you're not going to do what I do.
I'm going to work for this.
Exactly. I'm going to show this manager, this guy here, he's not offering what I'm offering. Yeah, he might have certain things, right? And especially when you've got Bowen, Paquetá and Kudus behind you, Antonio doesn't even need to have that pressure to score goals.
Yeah.
Right? If he can do everything else to facilitate, because Fulkrug will score more goals than Antonio, but will he facilitate the rest of the team?
That out ball, that like, we're under the pressure here.
Yeah.
I just need to hoof it into the channels because that's the open space. And I need somebody to chase this down and harry them. And there was even some chances, like not chances, but moments in the box when Fulkrug is trying to lay it off and he's trying to get somebody else involved. And I'm thinking, that's nice, probably manager's instructions, but you need to be aggressive here. You need to get a turn and shot away here. And I'm not killing Fulkrug. It's only 3 weeks into his Premier League career. It's not like, but
I would have expected to see him starting by now.
But I think that's my point. It comes down to, I think Lopetegui looks at every match week and he's like, yeah, but Antonio's just going to work like a dog.
Is this the game for Fulkrug?
Exactly.
Is this the game for Fulkrug?
When it's a game when West Ham are almost guaranteed, not 100% possession, you never guaranteed that, but when West Ham are going to have the ball,
yeah,
the newly promoted side, I'm sure Fulkrug will get in there.
100%. Southampton.
But any team that is potentially going to finish above him,
it's Antonio.
Antonio will probably start that game.
Or Bowen false 9.
Yeah. And that's my second thing, and I said this before last week, like, I feel Bowen is cold. He's a very good right winger. He's one of the best in the Premier League. But I feel as if he needs to transition into a second striker to let Kudus really blossom in a position that's dangerous. And it's tough to tell Bowen that because he gets numbers, he gets goals,
Yeah.
not just last season, the season before, season before that. He gets his numbers.
And you're replacing him with a right winger that's not as good as him.
But I think has the potential not to be as good as him. But I just feel like Kudus is a dangerous player, but it's so clear to me that he will be more dangerous
on the right.
And I think Bowen
can play well.
Exactly. And I think you can make up for Antonio's lack of ability to get over 15. 10. With Bowen right there.
Yeah.
Right behind him for anything that drops into the box off either foot. I'm just gonna get a shot on target, gonna get that off, But I also kind of understand, and that means you can also play Somerville on the left.
Yeah.
But I kind of understand not moving Bowen. He gets his numbers from that position. But I just think there's more to be done with Kudus.
Yeah, I agree. And I think there's probably games where Lopetegui might try that. Obviously, I don't think Man City is one of those games where you need Antonio in there for that to cause some problems. But yeah, look, Man City 9 points from 9, looking ominous, and it just looks very easy for them. But a team that we thought it was looking easy for last week only managed to pick up a point this week. Chelsea at home to Crystal Palace. They look good in the first half, but guys are saying it's a bit of a reality check for their attack. It's not going to be 6 goals every week.
I think Chelsea at Stamford Bridge are going to be
worse,
wishy-washy. The same Chelsea we've been seeing for the past 2 seasons. Like just leak goals, drop points, fragile. And I don't even understand. You know what? I think it's because on away games, it's probably the most camaraderie the Chelsea boys have. Like you're on one bus and there's probably 22 of you, 25 of you, wherever it is.
There might be divisions though.
And there will 100% be divisions. But like at least you're on one bus.
I don't know if Enzo's been completely forgiven.
At least you're on one bus together, X, Y, and Z. I think for the home games, it's a disaster because everybody's there. No one really has to go anywhere. Even the guys who aren't playing, they're looking at you. They're just right there. Plain clothes. It must be such a weird sensation. Like, playing for Chelsea at this moment, especially for home games when there's bare man who you're training with or in the gym with or friends with in the club. And it's like, he's not touching grass for.
Chilwell.
He's not touching grass for 6. Chilwell.
Vice captain.
Chilwell with the under 21s or wherever it is. After being a vice captain, like that's got to be weird energy for any of the other left backs. Who are starting. And I know you're thinking, I'm starting, I'm getting my minutes, but you're like, this guy 2 years ago was.
It's a Champions League winner.
Was the guy. And he's getting under 21 minutes. He's getting shadow banned from the club.
No, I think, it's interesting. We're having a conversation about Bowen and Kudus there. Neto, I just don't think Neto can play on the left, but he's nowhere near
as dangerous.
Exactly, nowhere near as good as he is on the right. And yes, Noni Madueke scored a hat-trick last week, but Neto on the right is clear of Noni on the right. So play Neto there, and unfortunately, that just means that Madueke's minutes are sacrificed. And that is where it is. Neto probably gets injured, and then Madueke can come in. But Neto on the left in this game, it just wasn't working.
Moment for Madueke, though, because times got tough when they signed João Felix. Yeah, well, times got tough when they signed Neto. Times got tough when they signed João Felix. Times are even tougher now that they've signed Sancho. I agree with you. Neto's more dangerous off the right. Say the manager finally sees that. All right, I'm going to move Neto onto the right, sacrifice Madueke's minutes, and shuffle between Sanchez and Kunku and João Felix on the left because Cole Palmer's going to be in the middle.
Yeah.
It becomes even tougher for all of those guys, for Madueke, for any of those minutes. It's a real dogfight. Yeah. Like, as much as Noni scored a hat-trick last week, there is no guarantee for any of those Chelsea boys that you get into the squad the next week. Let alone play in your favorite position.
Yeah, and in my opinion, there's only 2 positions up for grabs.
Yeah,
because Palmer and Jackson both have to start.
Seem are pretty nailed on. Yeah, it's going to be interesting with Chelsea. As I say, I think the home form will let them down a lot because they seem to be dropping a lot of points and.
They haven't won at home yet.
But big up Crystal Palace. First point of the season.
Eze,
serious footballer.
I kept faith in FPL.
Serious footballer.
X Factor.
You were saying like it's weird for Crystal Palace to be playing well and not getting points, and at least they were able to get this one over the line. And
in the second half, they were a much better team.
I loved actually the Eddie video, the Eddie signing video,
the gay thing. Yeah, that was good.
we got chain this guy down.
Yeah. Can someone get this? Can we get this guy changed? Eddie knows, man. Eddie's been at a level competing for serious stuff. He knows the quality gay he has. We need to keep this guy.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a happy marriage, man. They've got more quality. They've got more options. As I say, the reverse balls from Kamada now, from Eze now into Eddie. It's gonna be good. I'm gonna be watching a lot of London football. Like a lot of these London clubs, they have something for me.
Yeah,
I'm interested.
One of them, Fulham, where Reece has gone, Emil Smith-Rowe's there, Iwobi's there.
Leno.
They played Ipswich. Great goal from Delap.
Yeah.
Obviously, Adama equalised. Not too much on the game from me, but just similar to what you said there. I'll be tuning into Fulham game because I'll be watching Reece with a very close eye.
I told you, I loved Marco Silva looking at Adama Traore and thinking, I could go for Reece.
Yeah,
I think I could get a guy that will be. And Adama, we all know what Adama is. Like, we know how dangerous he potentially can be and also how frustrating he can be.
Yeah.
And I think Reece will have a bit more of a cool and calm head in front of goal, picking out somebody at the penalty spot. You know, Arteta's drilled that into Reece. You know, Arteta told Reece, whenever you're at the byline, there's two. There's the fizzed one to the front post or the penalty spot.
I think if you're in the relegation zone up to about 14th, 15th, Adama's your guy.
Exactly.
But if you're where Marco Silva probably is
15th
now,
to 10th.
Looking at the Fulham team saying, I want to go from that 14th to 8th, that gap. I want to push to that gap. You replace Adama with a guy like Reece. And
look at any of the wingers that play for clubs in that gap, right wingers.
Yeah.
And you'll be saying that's not Adama Traore.
Yeah.
This guy, I can bank on this guy to get me 5 and 4.
Yeah. Yeah,
or
exactly.
Whatever it is. And I agree with you, man. I'll be really interested to see what guys like Reece do, to see the season that Smith-Rowe and these guys have.
And the main thing I want to see from both of them, really, especially Reece, because obviously Reece is still an Arsenal player. He's obviously just gone on loan. But Smith-Rowe equally, I want to see them both become established starters. Every week, we know Marco Silva's picking Reece on that left or that right, wherever Reece is going to play, and Smith-Rowe's playing in that.
Don't you think that the signing of Smith-Rowe and Reece is like Willian split into two?
Yeah.
Like, they've got the qualities of Willian, and I appreciate Willian. Like, Reece is quicker than Willian at the stage Willian was at last season, but like the 10-7 guy. They've gone out and they've bought a 10.
Yeah. And
they've gone out and they've bought a 7.
Smith-Rowe's got the playmaking abilities of Willian, the goal scoring, and Reece probably has that as well. Like, Willian could have played as a number 10, I'm pretty sure.
Exactly.
Because he's got that IQ, he's got that understanding. But the fact that they've replaced them with those two guys, who are two guys of very good quality,
fair play.
I think Fulham going to have a good season.
Yeah. Is it what, a loan with an obligation, or just a straight loan?
Reece, I think it's just a loan. There's no option. There's no obligation.
So Reece needs his minutes. Get the price up. Get people talking about you.
Yep.
Do the Elanga thing from last year.
100%. And bro, if you ball, your future at Arsenal ain't necessarily over.
Not just that. Rumor had it that Newcastle put in a £50 million bid for Elanga
on deadline day
after what he done last season. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Elanga probably only got 6 and.
But that's what I'm saying. If Reece can start 30 games, regardless of his numbers and whatever, that will already add 5 to 10 mil on his price tag.
If Reece has a good season and teams come in and put 50 mil on Reece's head, that's the best bit of business. And he's done.
Look, I don't think it will be like 50.
No.
But I think Reece will have a season where
people will be like, we've been
teams will come and
disrespecting this
say,
guy.
yo, we'll pay 30 million for this. Marco Silva will probably see enough to say, yeah, but slap
this down.
Yeah, get this done.
You said Saudi wanted Adama Traore.
Yeah.
100%. We've already made that back.
But we've got to talk about Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, aka Abuemo and Wissa.
We know.
No Tony, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because these men are scoring, they're sourcing, they're balling out. 3-1 against Southampton. And then Buemo in particular, it's just lethal. He's just
cold.
and Bremo's a very, very
He's cold.
serious footballer.
I think, as I said this match week 1, like I gave a lot of respect for Thomas Frank to be moving on from Tony real time. Like Tony was still at the club, not even announced the Saudi thing yet, and he's just like, "Yo, bro, this team is going to move on without you. In fact, you're a distraction at this point. You need to get that move sorted." And kind of like what Iriola had to do with Semenyo, and he looked at Wissa. I mean, he did it last season, but he looked at Wissa and he looked at Mbeumo and said, "Guys, this is your team." In particular, Mbeumo, like the goals and the GAs, they come from you. And I love the work rate from Wissa. Well, he just brings it every week, and I'm happy Brentford kept hold of him and didn't sell him to Nottingham Forest. But I think, I'm not going to go too far with the Brentford thing, but for me, I actually enjoy Brentford as a team in the Premier League. Like, they're I wouldn't even necessarily...
I hate playing against
Exactly.
them.
I wouldn't even necessarily even say that they're fun to watch if they're going against a manager that doesn't know what he's doing.
100%.
Like, if you've got a new manager coming in and they don't really know what the Premier League is about or the levels or whatever, Brentford is a small little test of what
welcome to the Premier League.
What is to come. But yeah, just shout out to Thomas Frank, man. Shout out to Thomas Frank. He's been doing a lot with little resources for a long time. Like, Brentford should be in much closer scares, you would think, with what they spend in the transfer market than they are.
Yeah, 100%.
They're never really
and especially with all the injuries they had last year, and they were still relatively comfortable.
Yeah.
I think Brentford, and they're unbeaten.
Yeah,
no, they lost to Liverpool.
Yeah,
But they got 2 wins.
Yeah.
So 6 points from the first 3, 1 loss at Anfield. Come on.
Safety. You
can't ask for much more. But lastly, and I did say to Michael, might have to ban this team from being spoken about, because I think this is the 3rd week in a row we're talking about them last. Nottingham Forest versus Wolves.
That's just Nuno Ball, man.
That's a Nuno fixture.
That's the spirit of Santo
old team,
Ball.
new team.
Nothing in it.
Mosquera. Totti, Bolly.
Yeah.
1-1.
Shout out Chris Wood. Chris Wood's doing the things. Important piece for them. He's
invaluable.
Proven to be a timeless sort of Premier League scorer, whatever club, Burnley,
10
Newcastle.
goals, done.
I'm gonna get you 10. But there is not much to say about this game. It just happened.
Great goal from Bellegarde. That's all I got.
Yeah, great goal.
That's all I got. Yeah.
Great goal. But there is not much to say about this game. And maybe shout out to Gary O'Neill, first point on the board.
Yeah. With two tough fixtures to start with. Gone to Forest, got a point. But yeah, look, we're not going to spend any more time on that. We don't need to.
We'll
MVPs and rookies of the week.
Tony makes my MVP and my rookie of the week.
Okay, explain that one.
He makes my MVP because the contract is nuts. Almost getting potentially $1 million a week, even just getting 400k a week from where he was. But then he makes my rookie of the week because it is so clear to me and so obvious to me that this is not the move he wanted.
Yeah. 100%.
Like, he spent all of the end of last season doing interviews, talking about, I'm this level, I'm that level. Thomas Frank was on MNF saying Tony is a 20-goal a season striker. He can help any top 4 club win the league.
I think Thomas Frank put 100 million, 150 million price tag on him.
Everybody gave him glowing endorsements. And it's almost as if Tony's interviews or like club interviews.
Yeah.
Arteta said, the rumors, Arteta had a meeting with him, didn't like him. Tony's gone and told the market, I want 250k a week. And everybody's like, I don't know if you're worth 250k a week type of thing.
And also, looking back on it now, I reckon clubs were looking at the way Tony was speaking about Brentford and trying to force a move, and probably didn't think, this guy's character is someone we need to bring in.
I think he priced himself out, and as you say, like, talked himself out of just underneath the top 4. Like, he was talking as if I'm guaranteed to get a Liverpool or an Arsenal move. He was like, both clubs need strikers. I'm guaranteed to get a Liverpool or an Arsenal move, potentially a United
and
move.
Look, me personally, I would have added
potentially a United move. But I think, as you say, clubs have looked at that. Like, say Arsenal and Liverpool have said, good player, but probably not worth 250k. The Aston Villas and the Fulhams and the Tottenhams and the Brightons and all of these other guys have probably looked at his antics and thought,
And also that's a bit sideways
Yeah.
for some of them.
Yeah.
But like Brentford.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Brentford to those clubs could be.
But the ones that were trying to knock on the door, in particular, like United, Tottenham, I feel like they were like, yeah, man, I don't think he's worth the 250. So, look, my friend Nana, he was saying that like we're yet to see a player go to Saudi and make it back to a top level. Like, do you think that this is it? This
Kante?
is Tony's career. And Kante, but where did he move to? Did he move anywhere?
No, but just the Euros.
He done very well.
High level.
Yeah. But in terms of like,
in terms of league going there, then coming back,
getting a transfer, playing once again for a top 5 team in Europe or whatever it is. So, if this is the end of Tony's career, if he was talking all of that crud, and even when he was scoring goals in the Championship, talking about trying to prove himself in the Premier League, talking about potential moves to Madrid and trying to prove himself at this level, if it ends with just like, you know, a meaty move to Saudi, yeah, Rookie of the Week. But at the same time, for the money he will be making,
he's on League 1 to 500k a week.
Exactly, he's probably only getting 80k a week at Brentford.
Yeah,
you know, so he's like.
And Tony, I think Tony was playing League 1 at 25, 26. So
he's
to be at 28 now. Fair play.
But it's over. The relevancy and everything is over for him. The England squad call-ups, the like, it's all over.
But that's because the closer it came down, the closer I thought, is he going to sign a new contract at Brentford and maybe just stay there? Brentford will play Premier League consistently and whatnot. But I think he'd almost got to a point where he had to leave.
Yeah.
And I think the Saudi thing is, look, like you say, the relevancy in the England squads and all that, but generational wealth,
exactly,
massive contract,
the trade-off. But I do wonder about the Saudi contracts. Like, can it really be real? You see a lot of guys just out of nowhere, they've cancelled, ex-players cancelled their contract.
Yeah. Jordan Henderson.
All of this kind of stuff. Is it?
A lot of them are still out there, still getting their
some guys are certainly getting the money. Ronaldo and these guys, they don't even need to they're getting Benzema. He's getting his money. But you know, the meaty guys who have gone for like, you know, Milinkovic Savages and all these guys, like, is it what we think it is? I'm waiting for the tell-all documentary.
Well, there's this thing in it. Jordan Henderson didn't get his pay because you have to do like a year. Maybe you have to play there for at least a year to be able to get your money. So Jordan Henderson sacrificed like all, because he went there for a couple of months and decided he wanted to come back in it. But their man have money.
Yeah, no doubt.
And if they're trying to build this league, they kind of need to pay their players, because otherwise their players will just leave and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I agree with that. I'm trying to think.
Arne Slot for me, MVP.
Arne Slot can get an MVP. Yeah, I enjoyed the interview as well.
Yeah.
Flip side, Ten Hag can get a rookie.
Yeah.
Chris Cabner.
Yeah.
Rookie.
Big
rookie
of the week.
Romero,
Rookie of the Week for sure. I'm gonna give Sterling an MVP.
Yep.
He cleared his situation quickly.
Yeah, forced the move
to a better opportunity.
I want to go to Arsenal, get that done for me.
You know, so shout out to that for sure.
The international break as a whole,
rookie.
I hate it.
Everything about it.
Why are we 3 games into the season and we need an international?
You know what? Declan
break?
Rice can get a rookie from me.
I was thinking about it.
Yeah, not even just for the red card, but for the red card with Tottenham next. Like, come on.
Yeah.
You know. Like at halftime, somebody would have told him, "You got Tottenham next." By the way.
Yeah. He would have been told.
It would have been, it's the Balotelli thing. Like, yeah. So just rookie for missing that game, as I said, on petulance. Not even on a like you needed to make that challenge or you just lost your head. Nonsense.
I agree. That's all we got?
I'll give Rico an MVP. I think Rico's club and country.
Yeah, I'll let you give that one.
I think it's a bit nuts that, and this is the issue with Pep as well, by the way, is
because I'm gonna bring this up when Pep's not there,
and I will say that Pep will rotate the hell out of Rico Lewis.
Yeah.
He'll praise him and rotate the hell out of Rico Lewis. But since Pep has given him that praise, Lee Carsley's thought,
let's see. Lee Carsley, start Rico Lewis at right back against Republic of Ireland or Finland. Do it.
I just think that Pep will set trends and other managers will follow suit. So I never would have thought the transition from Kyle Walker to Rico Lewis would happen just like that.
Seamlessly.
I thought there'd be a betting in period.
Yeah.
I thought they'd both be called up, and then all of a sudden it would just be Rico Lewis that's called up. But Club and Country, he's just snatched the number off his back and said, "I'm here now." I'll also give Lee Carsley a Rookie of the Week for choosing Nick Pope.
Yeah.
And I'll give Nick Pope a Rookie of the Week because I know they won the game, but
there's quite a few of
you were dreadful.
Lee Carsley selections that he could get Rookie of the
Angel
Week
Gomez.
for. Noni.
I was saying this.
The right wingers that England have, yeah. And I like Noni. We've always spoken
He's a good
highly
player.
of
Yeah,
Noni.
yeah.
He did score a hat-trick, but is Noni making England squads now? Is he one of England's best attacking players?
Even for the canon for the games, even if you're saying it's not the big tournaments, whatever, even for the canon for the games, England have some serious right wingers that could still go for this tournament. And none of them have been included.
But yeah, look, that's it from us. Thank you guys for listening. We will be back next week, probably with a Premier League predictions episode. So tune in for that. But thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week, and peace.
Peace. On love.